going here. So for those that are brand new that don't realize what's going on, our company is in a relaunch and just some exciting. I don't even know what to say. That made the hair stand up on my arms and the back of my neck. And 21 years of doing this, it takes a lot to get me really where I can't sleep at night thinking about what's going on. And by the way, our beautiful co-host, Dr. Kristal Vance, has joined us now. I see her pop up.
We got good morning.
Being here with us. So good morning. So, I don't know about anybody else, but she makes things look much better on our screen. So that's why we put her up, to make sure these other three guys pretty rough on the eyes. As we get started though, guys, you saw that little short video Anthony shared. I had not seen it. I know it's been sent out. I've been so busy. There was so much happening in the business, and there's just so much exciting things happening. I don't even know what to say. 21 years full-time in this industry, and I don't think I've ever been in a place where I'm like, wow. I know Ken Bailey feels that way. Brent and I used to talk all the time. It's funny, we would talk daily because we're so freaking busy. There's so much going on. I might get a text from him every couple of days, and somebody knew Todd Rowland's business, like, Todd don't return his calls. I'm like, Todd returns his calls. The problem is you're just not on the priority list right now. There's just so much happening. There's so many great things going on in our company that, and I know it's going to get crazier. That's the part that's funny, is that right now where we're standing, and over the next 3 weeks, and I'm the only one out of these hosts that doesn't have his Catalyst Club. I want y'all to know I tried hard and I got it downloaded, but I can't figure it. I'm not high tech, but Anthony couldn't help me either. So guys, I did get the Catalyst. Y'all put so much pressure on me. I became Catalyst. So I'm working on the next level. These guys are already at 3. I'm still trying to get 2 done, but I promise y'all, always remember, doesn't matter what the data, it ain't over yet. To the fat lady sings, as they used to say. So I still got 10 days to get this done, and I guarantee you it'll be done. So as we get started this morning, we've got several guests, and I've asked Coach Palmer to really help a lot today. And Kim, you guys really, Dr. Kristal, my voice is in bad shape. Part of that's because I've had a little bit of a sinus infection, but more of it's because I've talked so much. I don't even know how I lost count on Zooms these days. I used to do maybe a couple of Zooms a week, and now I'm doing 4 and 5 a day. Why? Because our company has got something special happening. I don't know what else to say about it. Just incredible momentum. And if you've not been in this industry, I wish I could explain what momentum looks like. You have to experience it to understand it. I've been through it one time and got on the verge of it a second time. And so the company I'll just be honest, the company made some changes. It didn't work out, and it's been and sometimes you go through darkness before you get the light. And I felt like that's what's happened. I mean, we have gone through some crazy stuff, and I thought was the worst times of my days. And goodness gracious, now it's turning out to be like, what can I say? I'm more excited about enough that I'm out working again, like hard working, not just play working. I'm going at it hard. I've been standing Kristal up on Tuesday nights because I've had so many things happening. So anyway, as we get started here this morning, we've got several guests, and I'm going to turn it to Coach Palmer because the Catalyst Club is, I think, was kind of he was kind of involved in the brainchild on this. I mean, I know he was one of the people that was, and I know Tracy, I think Tracy Turnberg's on here. He was also kind of funny. I'm now doing these Saturday mornings for so long, and now earners all over on this call every Saturday morning because we're just growing so fast and everybody wants to plug into what's happening. So welcome to everyone. Coach Palmer, I'm going to turn it to you to talk about the Catalyst Club and maybe interview a couple of people. Todd's not joining us today. Why? He has so many people in Huntsville that came to training early that he texts. He said, they're already here 2 hours before. And people don't come to meetings 2 hours in advance unless there's a lot of buzz. They're wanting to get a long time with him and learn what's happening. So I commend what's going on with Sonia and Ernest, that group there. And they may be guests here today. I think they're supposed to be, but I bet they ain't got time to get on. They got so much happening. So Coach Palmer, I'm going to turn it to you to start us off.
Woo, yes, a lot going on. And, Chris, I said this last week, but sometimes people, if they're not in the right perspective of life for business, sometimes people will look at things like what we're doing right now and they'll go, it's hype. They're just hyping this up. And it's, so I'm going to break it down logically really quick. Okay. Logically, why I call it teeing up people. The reason, if your phone, if people are not answering you right now, it's because possibly you're not teeing up people. And here's what I mean by that. Right now, we're in go mode of sharing what we got to the world. So all of our time is in the new person, talking to them, sharing with them why now is the time to get involved. And so as you look across and you're seeing these flyers, and there's so many of you that have got flyers that you've achieved the Catalyst Club, congratulations. Exclusive club. You will be VIP forever inside of this company. And you'll see that start to take a place of its own once the Catalyst Club's over. You'll start to see the company acknowledge more, the company sending you things, the company acknowledging you at the events. And it'll be one of those things that you'll swell up with pride that you made the effort to cross the finish line. It's the best way I can say it. It's like, get there and you're there forever. Once you're there, over the next few months, you will see the company roll out things that you'll be like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I was a part of the Catalyst Club, this exclusive business. And so keep going. We got till January the 31st to cross the finish line. And remember, all of your new people's got 90 days from the date they enroll to be a part of the Catalyst Club. And then it locks in. It's over. You're there for life. Okay. And so congratulations to you. But I want to tell you this. I just want to say this real quick, Chris, and I hope this can put kind of an umbrella of why Chris is excited. Dr. Kristal Vance is excited. I mean, Ken Bailey and all of your leadership is excited because I say this over and over and over on the calls, and we've got a blitz as soon as this call's over with Dr. Kristal Vance, where I'll be sharing this. But guys, the wellness industry is going to exceed $4.5 trillion in 2023. Now, you all are on here. This is not hype when I say, hands down, we have the best products in the world. Would you agree? Maybe put a 1 in the chat if you would agree with that. Follow me here now from a business standpoint. There's companies in our product-based industry that's growing faster than we are right now. But when you look at the nuts and bolts of that company, they don't have the products we have. They don't have the DNA and the products that we have that's affecting people's lives like our products do. Okay? So you got the product side in this $4.5 trillion industry that it will exceed in 2023. So people are coming to your products. You just got to open your umbrella. And then the second thing is Zoom communication. Chris started this call, guys. There was a handful of people that was on it, like 10. Like he started it and there were like 10 people would show up on Saturday morning. Today, we're broadcasting all over the world, streaming on Facebook, streaming on Instagram. Like this call today, you see 157 right now, but it will exceed 1,000 people over views over the next month. Technology, that industry has changed the world of direct sales. So you've got the product base, you've got the technology industry. We can connect with people anywhere, all day, every day. And then the third piece is just the home-based business. When we got into the industry, Ken Bailey got into the industry, started talking about people in North Carolina about home-based business. They're like, you're crazy. That's unheard of. And then COVID happened. Put a 2 in the chat if you know people that went home during COVID that had to do business. And then they started functioning. They started doing business from home in their PJs, right? They started raising their kids doing business. Now the doors are open back up and their jobs have said, come on back. and they're like, I don't like it. I don't want to go back. I want to stay at home, but they're forced to go back. So 3 industries colliding, the wellness industry, the technology industry, and the home-based business industry, that the world more so than ever is looking. And we're sitting there as a standalone company, February the 11th, getting ready to shout to the world our new name. I look at this as a new company coming out. Just what you need to do is go back and maybe watch the movie Steve Jobs. Watch the history of how the iPhone was developed, as it's all about timing. Doyle understands that. Kristal Vance understands that. Ken Bailey understands it's timing. And so for you on the call today, like zero in today and go, what am I focused on? Because 2023, here's what I'm focused on right now. I'm focused on the system of growth. I'm bringing people in that way. You get your choice. I bring them in on the system of growth because I know that product can be a gateway product for them. I'm focused on February the 11th. I'm focused on talking to people. I shot a little video of myself with some hype around February the 11th, and then I'm teeing up people for one-on-ones, whether it's Zoom, in person, however I can get in front of people. And then the last thing I'm doing is I'm focusing on the financial aspect, because people want home base today more so than ever because they understand it today. And so all these things are coming together. And here's the thing for you. Do exactly what you're doing with plugging in. Don't stop plugging in, and run like you have. Find those pockets in your part-time spare time to tee up people. What do I mean by that? Just connect a new person and somebody you've partnered with in the business that you can share with them. Any way you can get in front of them, because you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I want to tell you, there's a lot of right people out there right now. That's why we're so excited. So Chris, that's what I would have to say this morning to kind of kick it off. I'm excited about the call. And you mentioned to bring on somebody. I'd like to bring on Joe Mitchell. I don't know if Joe can unmute her line. She doesn't have to. If your video's not on, you don't have to turn it on, Joe. But Joe's from Mountain View, Arkansas. She just crossed the finish line as Catalyst Club. She's in the fraternity forever and always. But Joe's been with me for a while in this business. Joe, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can. Listen, I just got 2 things. And thank you so much. I see you there. She was car qualified in the Limu company, and she's transitioned with us all the way up to this company, this new company launching February the 11th. Joe, first of all, number 1, what are you excited about right now? And number 2, what have you done to get across the finish line to the Catalyst Club?
Well, I am so excited right now. I have a business here in Mountain View, Arkansas, and we're extremely busy, but I'm just really excited. I'm ready to get back in all of this. Whenever the pandemic hit, we stopped having parties in our homes. Now we're getting back that, and everyone is just really excited. The products are just amazing. And I've had all these people reach out to me wanting products. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just amazing. And then I text Brent late last night and I'm like, I'm so sorry for this text, but I'm just so excited, fired up. But I'm really looking forward to the new relaunch on February the 11th. I'm excited about that and excited to see where.
Thank you, Joe. You cut out there at the end, but thank you so much. And I want to share with everybody this. Joe Mitchell is a brand partner getting human. I've been in business with her for over 10 years, and she gets brand partners each and every month. But let me tell you how she crossed the finish line in the Catalyst Club. She messaged me last night and she said, I've got so many people responding. I'm going to put in an array of customers that's going to get me all the way to where I need to be in the Catalyst Club. I said, great. Listen, however it takes to get through to the Catalyst Club, remember, you can enroll brand partners, you can enroll customers, however you need to do it. She did it last night. And actually, I got a picture going up there beside her BMW. I thought that would be cool because we are a brand. Limu is a brand inside of this new company that has unfinished business, right? Chris, I thought about this and I'll be quiet. The beautiful thing about February the 11th, and this will make more sense when February the 11th comes, is we're a company that is going to be a partnership company with people all over the world. Like imagine this. Nobody in Limu set out to one day sell their company to another company. Think about that. Kmart didn't set out to not be in business. Like, we're a company that can help people continue on their unfinished business in life. What a beautiful scenario. I'm setting out right now to do this thing in a big way, and I'm partnered with a company that's going to help me do that and stay the course with me, right? So think about all these brands, all these people, and the world that's yet to come to us that's just looking for a company that will say, you know what, you fit right here, you belong right here, and we will help you continue on your unfinished business. So Joe Mitchell's a great example of that. All right, I'll be quiet. I'll turn it back to you, Chris.
I think perfect example of what's going on. All of us that know Coach Palmer know he gets to the point. He's so pumped up. I know right now he can say I could go another 20 minutes. Right? You could. How many Zooms did you do this week, Coach? How many did you do? You even know?
A lot. I don't a lot.
And I know Kristal's the same way. And I think sometimes we need to know the person. I mean, Dr. Kristal Vance is someone she just knows about health. Yet she's here. I'll promise you, she loves her health, but she's here for the money too. She's like Chris. She knows we got great products that make a difference in lives. But Kristal is here because she likes the income stream. So Kristal, I'm gonna turn it to you before we get started with some of these guests.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, that's very, very true. I am here for the money. But here's the thing. I love that I don't have to be like, it's an okay product. It's gonna help some people. And I'm gonna make some money. And I can show you how to make some money. I don't have to say that. Will not. There's nothing else out there. I looked. There's not one thing out there product wise that even comes second. Like, we're our own second, third, fourth, and fifth. There's nothing that comes close to what we have in terms of quality when it comes to product. And that means a lot, because when all else fails, I'm making sure I still have this. Like, at the end of the day, if something happens in my family, if I have to move, because life happens, right? Has anybody here built a business and you were at full speed, full momentum, and then something happened and you had to downshift? And you're like, dang it. Like, that happens. But here's the thing. In previous business, right? I grew up around this industry, you guys. My parents were a part of Amway for 30 some years. And if there's one thing I was taught, is people stay with people and they will continue to use products they love. Is that not true about Amway? I mean, when you think Amway, what do you think? People and products. Soap, right? You think, you guys, I still have it. Here I am. I don't even build Amway, and I still have SA8 laundry soap, because people don't let go of products when they're great and quality. Look at these, SA8, LOC. Do you see what? Okay, that's awesome. Do you know what's going to be better? Noni, Limu, Moa. I want in 20 years people talking about, and they will be talking about the products that we have here, because they're that quality of product, the best of the best. So I want to bring up an example. People follow people. People love good quality products. I have somebody on my team. I know she's on here. I sent her a message. Kristal Elliott. Are you there, lady? Are you able to unmute? And you can show your video. Oh, look at her. She's so awesome. You guys, Kristal Elliott is from Gillette, Wyoming. How do I know Kristal Elliott? Kristal Elliott and I were quote, quote, running mates. We were young babies, 20s, early 20s. And my parents, I came out of college and my dad said, now listen to this. If you're a smart parent, my dad said, you're not sitting on your butt doing nothing. You better go make some money. And the best way I know how to make money is residual income. So go get some. So I like, he's like, you need to be around positive people. You need self-development. You need a community. So you're going to this event. I'm buying your ticket. Well, at many of these events, I met Kristal Elliott and we became pals. We became running mates. We didn't have anything to do with each other financially, but we became really good friends. All right, jump 20 years later. Her mom's like, I think this is Kristal Vance. Why would she be asking that? Because guys, through this industry, I found my own health and I lost 160 pounds. I didn't look anything like, but my voice was the same. They recognized my voice. They're like, I think this is Kristal Vance. Guess what? It was. What are you doing? She says. So Kristy, what was I doing? Here you are now, Catalyst Club. You're rocking it. What I love is that, and we've talked about this, and maybe you want to go into it a little. We thought we failed before. We thought we failed because we didn't have everything we had up on our refrigerators. We didn't have everything that we had on our dream boards. And yet here we are, we're kicking butt and we're getting ready to slay it again. Did we fail?
No, we did not. 20 years ago, when we started this journey doing this industry, we were young and yes, we had big stars in our eyes. And yeah, maybe it didn't happen that time around, but we created the foundation. And that love for this industry is still in our hearts. And so when the opportunity came around again, I jumped on board and I'm still your running mate.
That's right.
And I got a little catch up to do, but that's okay. But yeah, this is, I'm so excited about the launch, the soft launch. I have previously been trying to build and involve people because I can see, I can feel, I know in my heart that that there is going to be a pivotal change in people's lives that see this and grab a hold of it. And like you said earlier, we have absolutely amazing products. I mean, we can just go on and on about each product and what it has done for yourself, a family member, a friend. And when you have things like that, that it affects everybody and it is positive. I mean, who do you not talk to that doesn't have some kind of physical ailment that needs great products? And so along with great products that help people with their health, and then the opportunity to make business and to make money.
Okay,
It's
so hold
incredible.
on 1 second. You're a business owner anyways,
Yep.
right? And you're
I own a
fine.
sign shop.
Yep. She owns a commercial sign shop and busy. Okay. Busy business owner. And so what have you been leveraging to have success? Because you guys, she's kicking butt. She's built, not only is she bringing people into the company, she's teaching them to do the same thing. She's getting duplication. So what is it that you're doing different or that you've grabbed a gear. That's the best thing to say. You've grabbed a gear.
Yep. Well, we have a lot of tools that I have grabbed on and used. And when we started with the system of growth, and it started with just simply selling trials at 25 bucks a piece, how simple is that? I mean, you can justify a purchase of that to anybody because they can't even go out and eat for a meal in a restaurant. Well, you can't even go to a McDonald's anymore for a family of 4. It costs us 40 bucks to eat at McDonald's, you know? So everybody can afford a trial and give it a shot, a chance to see if that works for you. That's one tool that I grabbed onto. Then boards. Boards is so simple to use and it's at your fingertip. If you need a little help to get it to be set up on your phone, have somebody help you out, but you can send people messages. You can send them information right from boards. And that has been pivotal because I'm not searching over here or over there, or, you know, I love the Share app, but I find that I can do everything easier and better out of the boards app. So I do that. And with the people that are grasping on, that are on my team, that are grasping this, I'm just teaching them the same thing that I've been doing, and they educate themselves and go in and use it because it is simple, and they're running with it. And on Sunday night's call, we talked about, well, what did I do to get to Catalyst? My first step was doing the social media launch. And I went through the 4 days of doing that. And I tell you what, they have grabbed hold of that. People are going live. People are, you know, shouting to the rooftops how excited they are about whatever product they love. And they're getting responses. They're getting people's attention. And that's so exciting.
You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I know you've got a little rock star VIP coming up, and hopefully we'll be seeing her, Miss Gina Langley. So excited for what you guys are doing out there in Wyoming. I'm just going to say, I'm going to close me down here. And I want to say one thing, probably the golden nugget that I took from Christy right there is she said her people are educating themselves. She's teaching them. She's leading them to where to go. All of us in this sinus stuff. She's teaching them where to go so they can educate themselves. But she's also approaching people and letting them know they can educate themselves. This is where you go. If you'll do this, you'll get this. And that's gold right there, Christy. So thanks for sharing. You guys, I mean, seriously, someone 20 years inside of the industry walked away, coming back and slaying it. We're going to hear that all day long.
Absolutely. I love it. Congratulations on your for being Catalyst. That's so we're going to all talk about this as we get later. And I'm going to go to Ken Bailey. I think one of the things I want to point out, though, that this company is so unique from a lot of reasons. The number of brand partners that we have and the brands that we have that really separate us, and we partner up so well with each other. Coach Palmer and I have zero connection with each other financially. Kristal, Vance and I have zero connection financially. Ken Bailey and I have. Why am I bringing that up? Because you won't see that. I don't mean this rude to other companies. It's just the way it works. And I'm not going to say that everybody feels that way, but I will promise you this company is pulling on the same rope. and it's like we're not worried about, we're not worried about who's getting the glory. It's about the whole company. It's just so much momentum happening. So Ken, I mean, we've been friends for a long time, but we're not financially connected at all. So I want you to come on in. I know you got a couple guests from your team that you're going to talk about.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. Appreciate Brent, Dr. Kristal. And just real quick, especially if you're new on here, Chris, before I get into our guest, we keep talking about we're $300 million debt-free startup and all that. If that's confusing to new people, whatever, get the details and so forth. But I want to give you, everybody, an analogy to maybe, Brent, let people know how unique and incredible situation that we are in, maybe more unique than the history of our industry. guys, to be a $300 million debt-free startup. But it goes beyond that. Everything is in place. Now, what do I mean by that? Guys, as a startup, they got to get manufacturing in place. IT's got to get in place. Operations, they got to build offices or get offices open around the world in different countries. All that's in place here. So it's beyond the $300 million debt free. So let me give you a quick analogy. Think about yourself. What if you went out and built $1 million house and had no mortgage, no debt, and everything else is in place? What do I mean by that? Well, I was recently blessed to build my dream house, Chris, and I thought I was done, right? But then my wife started telling me the cost of furniture, the cost of landscaping. We just had blinds put in this or ordered this week, and I like to choke when she told me how much blinds are to go through the house, right? I see Kristal laughing because she knows it's 5 figures, and I'm like, wow, guys, everything's in place. We don't need landscaping. We don't need furniture. We don't need blinds. Manufacturing's in place, operations in place, IT's in place, marketing's in place. So we're a $300 million debt-free startup with everything in place. Because what happens to the typical startup, if they can get enough money to start, they don't make it because of all these other expenses that come in with developing products and all this kind of stuff, legal departments, you name it, it's all done. Guys, we're in the most unique situation, Chris, I believe, in the history of our industry with our company. So that means all of our revenue, Brent, can go towards promotions and incentives and trips and paying the brand partner so that we can increase the revenues of the company, guys. It's so unique. And 2 more real quick things. When you watch these videos and everything rolling out for the February 11th announcement, there's hints in there as to what the new company's name is. Okay, I can't say much more than that, but there's hints there. And then right before I bring on Anthony, if you want to start getting them ready, we're going to be interviewing Mike Guidry and Fred Duff out of Richmond, Virginia. But one more real quick training tip here, and I know Brent and Chris and Dr. Kristal can relate to this. Folks, as you start growth and expansion, one of the things you got to be on the lookout for is drama within your team, okay? As Barney Fife would say, you got to nip it in the bud, okay? Because only in this industry, folks, I say this all the time, Chris, you've heard me say it, 1 minute you're talking about nutrition, and the next minute you're dealing with drama on your team. So in other words, 1 minute you're Dr. Oz, and the next minute you're Dr. Phil. and the bigger your business gets, the more often you're Dr. Phil. But I'm just going to tell you, nip it in the bud, folks. We got so much to be positive. If somebody starts talking negative, we don't have time for it today. It's just so much good going on here. So anyway, we want to get to our guest. And one of the things we've been talking about last week and today, folks, is what we call income producing activities. And I want Mike and Fred to talk about that, in particular, face-to-face, doing home meetings. You've heard talk about that, doing follow-ups, that kind of stuff. But Mike and Fred are good friends of mine. I've known Mike and Lisa, his lovely wife, for about 3 years now, working together. They're up in the great state, Richmond, Virginia. And they brought on Fred recently, about a year or so ago. And Fred has been extremely successful in the industry and can maybe speak to the uniqueness of what we got, Fred. But I'll turn it over to, let's go with whichever one. Let's go with Fred first, Mike, and let him talk with his experience. Maybe, Fred, you can talk about the uniqueness of where we're positioned here and why you're excited, why you're here, why you came out of retirement to do it one more time.
Well, first of all, thank you. There's so many great leaders on this call, Van. It's a real honor and a privilege to be here. So thank you for inviting me. You know, I was watching my wife scroll through, I think it was Netflix or something last night. As I was coming through the living room, I was doing some follow-ups. As I was watching her, she stopped at a movie called The Perfect Storm. And I got to thinking about who we are as a company. Think about what has happened over the last few years with COVID and everything. I don't have to tell anybody how fragile health is anymore. It's a done deal. We're forever seared in our mind and our heart that our health is very vulnerable. Number 2, I don't have to tell anybody ever again how vulnerable and how how easy it is for our income to be jeopardized by an employer, either sending you home or just cutting you off altogether. The last 2 years has proven that. So what I kind of got to thinking about, I said, my God, we're in the perfect storm, the perfect business storm of all time, where technology like Zoom, like Coach has been talking about, you can get a Zoom and you can just own this industry. We've got the best products in the world, by far, by none. And we have the best pay plan, by far, by none. Here's what this really says. We are the 800-pound gorilla in the friggin' room, man. Bring it on. We're going to explode. Nobody can touch us, man. I got up this morning, my wife said, why do you keep saying 800-pound gorilla? Because we are. All morning long, I'm saying 800-pound gorilla. And whoever I'm talking to, that's what I'm telling them. Do you want to be a part of the perfect storm? You've got just a few days to get locked in and go.
Outstanding, Fred, outstanding. Mike, would you talk about the importance of weekly meetings, infrastructure, follow-up, as we talk about these, we call them IPAs, income producing activities. And can you speak to that? And two, where we're positioned in the company, it's so important.
I can speak about the income producing activities, the IPAs, because when we first started, and I'm talking about myself and Lisa, my wife, we were busy. We were very busy, but it was not doing income producing activities. And you can really get lost doing a lot of things, organizing your desk so that you think that you're becoming more profitable. Well, those are not an income producing activity. We can find 1,000 things to work on that are not producing income. We started a while back every morning call that keeps us all accountable, which we love it, because every morning we show up and report what we've done the day before, what we have set up. And this is, do you have a Zoom call lined up? Do you have a meeting lined up? Those are the things that produce income. Since we've started doing that, things have drastically changed. And the other one that I'd like to mention is that home party, that home meeting or a group meeting. We went through a period of, a couple of years with COVID where everyone was afraid to get together. Some people were, and it was just strange. It was just, we were trying to reach out, and that can be done, but there's nothing that can take the place of the human interaction. Like Dr. Kristal Vance mentioned earlier, the relationship between people and the products, and that combination creates a lifetime or a much longer relationship. And that's what we were looking for here. You can get people to join you for a little bit from a distance without knowing them, but it seems to be very short-lived. And that home party, that home gathering just brings something deeper that people are looking for.
Outstanding, Mike. I always say, folks, don't confuse activity with achievement. Okay, don't confuse activity with achievement. It always reminds me, I heard about this guy who ordered the exercise tape to lose weight. He says, I've watched that thing 100 times and haven't lost a pound. Okay, guys, you can be active but not achieving anything. So make sure you're not just talking about your business, you're showing it to them, Mike. You can talk about it all day long, but unless somebody sees what it is, it don't go a long ways. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. 100%. Yeah. I can concur about the weight loss videotape. They don't work. Did a lot of those.
So guys, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Fred. And I know we've still got just a few minutes there, and I know I can see Brent in particular leaning into the mic, so to speak. He's got something else he wants to add there, and I love it. I'll turn it back to you, Chris.
Yeah, one of the things I want to add too, we didn't even mention it. Fred has been very successful in this industry, and my hat worked on him for a long time before he saw what he called this perfect storm coming. Fred's recognized that happening. And I will say this from a real standpoint. I've been involved in this industry, and I've been full-time 21, hard for me to believe, 21 years. I can't imagine doing anything else. But the fact of the matter is, each time I talk about what's going on, the hair stands up on my arm. And I can feel it on the back of my neck. And why does that happen? It's because I know what the perfect storm is the perfect way to describe it. And when you got a company with this many brand partners and this many companies partnering up, I don't think people recognize the big thing. I mean, I did a new PowerPoint yesterday. I'm like, it made me excited. And Todd built this new PowerPoint and I used it for the first time. I'm like, It's almost like I didn't realize what was going on with how great things are. Coach Palmer and Dr. Kristal, why are they so excited? Because they're putting their time where they know it is. Because guys, right after this call, how many of y'all going to do, Brent? I mean, I know y'all did it last Saturday. You're doing it again.
Chris, last Saturday, there were like 100. What we wanted to prove last Saturday, and Dr. Kristal Vance, it was her idea. She said, I want to prove in 15 minutes that we can share an opportunity. See, so many people think it's got to be 2 hours, that these in-home parties are like 2 hours long. They're so dreadful, or Zooms have got to be really long. They don't. Here's what people want to know. What do you got for me? How can it help me? How much is it going to cost? How do I get it back? And what's the potential? What could I earn here? And so, Chris, you didn't ask me to share this, but I got to. Chris, Ken said I'm leaning in, and here's why I'm leaning in. And I got to say, hats off, guys, the Guidrys and Fred, what they're doing, I see. And I'm like, I just applaud you because, you know, again, you can put me in a room with a brain surgeon and they're going to sniff me out in 10 seconds. They're like, this guy don't have a clue. But you put me in a room with somebody that can build grassroots and organically grow a network marketing industry or a company, and I can spot them. Guys, what y'all are doing, like I know Fred and y'all have had success, but you know what? What I love is you're kicking the trophies under the table, and Fred's like, I don't talk about what I did X amount of years ago. I'm talking about where I'm going right now. And Mike's like, let me tell you about the income producing activity. Because the way you make it in this industry is not to sit around and moan and groan about what you used to do and how big of a deal you used to be and what you did in your business and all that. It's about income producing. What am I doing today? What is Brent Palmer doing today to create sales and leverage in his business? That's all that matters. And so what Mike and them are doing, and I'm going to share this, I hope this is the nugget for you, because I know we talked about invitation. Okay. And Chris said, hey, we're going to show you how to invite. So everybody on here, I'm going to give you an income producing activity. If you just did, like, do something every day, do one a day, like do 10 a day. How big and fast do you want to grow? You got to figure that out. It's your business to figure out those pockets. But if I call it the 3 T's. And me and a lady, amazing lady from Australia, was talking about this. I shared it on my Chalk Talk the other day, last week. Talk, tool, team up. And here's what I mean by that. Right now, we should be talking. Social media, in person, like on the phone, going, listen, February the 11th, I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on. But if I were to send you a video, would you take time to watch it? Now, once this is over, I'm going to put in Telegram my video that I'm sending. Guys, it's a 2-minute just excitement. It doesn't really say anything, but it leads them to the let's get together and team up, one-on-one, Zoom, coffee shop. But it's an attainable income producing activity that I can do every day, right? So the 3 T's, talk, tool. What's the tool? I got a little 2-minute video on myself. I'm not saying you've got to use that. Make your own. Ask your upline to make it. Like, it's super simple. And then once I send that, I follow up with them and I go, hey, listen, what we really want to do. And the video actually says it. We just want to get back with you and share with you what we're excited about. And then I just link up me, Chris Doyle, and the prospect, or whoever my 2x2 person is. But it's an income producing activity. People also ask me all the time, how do you invite? Anthony Moreland says it the best. You better be excited. Nobody's following a dull, delusional, negative person that's talking about the past. They want to be a part of the future. They want to be a part of something ground floor. They want to be a part of something that the world doesn't know about. And we got it in our pocket. That's why we're excited. So the invitation is simply talk. Listen, how's the kids? How's life, Chris? How's Kristen doing? And then listen, I thought about you the other day. We have got something that we're expanding right there where you're at. if I were to send you a quick 2-minute video, would you watch it for me? 99% of the people is going to say yes. I send that video over. Okay. I'm going to give you an example of that video in Telegram for you to look at. And then you make it your own. Reverse engineer it. You don't have to use mine. Make yours. Or find your upline. And then follow up and just simply say, I want to get you on the Zoom. I want to come by your house. I want to invite you over to a party we're having. However, you're going to get in front of them, belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball, and get a partner in this deal and share the plan. How many times can you do that in a day, in a week, in a month? That income producing activity coupled with where our company is right now, the perfect storm, guys, you're going to lock yourself in to some amazing growth in 2023.
And I think one of the things Brent said is so important. He called it belly to belly. Maybe because my belly is a little bigger than most. I know that belly to belly is good. So you want to get to see that person. I'm going to tell y'all something that happened with me just this week. So everybody has got those people that they're a little nervous to call. I used to call it my chicken list. And I got a girl's my cousin. Grew up with her across the street. Hadn't seen her 15 years probably face to face. But we stay connected on Facebook. I just sent her a message, how's she doing? And I small talk for a little bit, but I ended up just saying, Amy, I want to get with you because I'm looking for some people to partner up with. And we've been friends a long time. She said, I'm not interested. I said, that's okay. We're going to catch up anyway, but I want you to hear what I got because I wouldn't want you mad at me if I didn't call you about this. We've been friends a long time. You're my cousin. And if later on something turns out to be what I think it's going to be, you're going to say, why didn't you call me? And that's all I said. She didn't ask anything else about the company, what I did, anything. All she said was, okay, how long will it take? And I said, 15, 20, 30 minutes based on how many questions you got. When can we meet? Appointment set. Guys, that's an income producing activity. And I see too many people do things that I consider to be, like, I think Kim may have said it, they're involved. It's funny, you always take my line because my daughter says it the best. Like, I'm a member of Kristen's gym. I do know it has black carpet. I do not know how any of the other stuff works. So I'm not working out. That's not who I am. Brent works out every day. He's excellent. But I will tell you this, when it comes to my financial world, everybody I run into, I don't care who they are. I got a prospect I'm working right now. I met at a gas pump. Happened to be a doctor. But he know what he wanted? Residual income. He said, what do you do? I said, I teach people how to build residual income. And I turned away from him. So guys, little things, and then people will say, you're lucky. No, I probably said that 50 times at the gas pumps. This one worked. This guy finally. So see, we want to not realize that those are the little things. I know we've got so many people that are supposed to be guests this morning that they're on the list. So I'm just not going to be able to be with us. Her business is exploding. Huntsville's got a whole training going on. There's no telling how many things are going on there. But Anthony, will you bring up what Coach Palmer and Kristal, guys, when you talk about people working with you, where in the world could you get people that are 7-figure earners willing to do, inviting you to be on their Zooms? No, I mean, they don't have to do this. Certainly they're doing it for their teams, but you realize they're opening to every team. That's what separates our company. I mean that because we all partner up to help each other. And I just think that's something we need to realize. If you do that, you build a special team. And this is going to, Brent, why don't you go over, Kristal, why don't you go over this? I know this is happening right after we finish. So take a picture of this, guys, so you know what the meeting number is. And get on your phone and say, hey, could you join me for a few minutes and listen to what I think is going on special? This is a perfect opportunity. You guys talk about it a little bit. Kristal, why don't you do that?
Yeah. Well, like Brent said, it was like, we need people to have a tool and also an opportunity. Okay. You can come on we're doing 3 of them. Why did we do 3 of them? Because you can come on and watch one. You know what we're saying. You could also invite people to it. Like, you've got 6 minutes to send out texts and say, I got something that's starting. Could you jump on this? Okay. Because people love they like that spur of the moment. They like that fear of missing out. Oh my goodness, what do you got? And so you could literally send out messages really quick, and they might not be able to jump on the first one, but you might get them on the second one. And if you can't get them on the second one, you might get them on the third one, but you could watch it. You would have time to invite, and you could get them on the third one. Now, we're not guaranteeing you which one's going to be the best because we didn't like, you don't have to practice something that you love. You don't have to practice something that you know. I'm going to be a doctor for a second. In your brain, I want you to think about, you got this brain, you got another brain, and then you got this tiny little brain. Okay. The tiny little brain that's in the center, that's the brain that you just do it out of repetition because you've done it so many times. That's how you do it. Now that can work for you. That also can work against you. There's some of us that have been doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and it's not getting what you want. So what do you have to do? You've got to come back to that. You got to come out of that habit, right? Of how you used to do things. And you got to be like, okay, brain, I'm coming out of this spot. I really want you to think about that. Like that's stored deep in your brain. And I want you to go, all right, I'm going to think with all of my head right now. I want let it all come in. I want fresh. I want new. That's how I want you to watch our first video, with fresh eyes, with fresh thinking, not with how you used to do things. I want you acting like this is your first day you ever heard it, you ever saw it, and you're going to take the pieces out of it that you love. And that's what we're going to do on the hour. And then we're going to quick do it again. And then we're going to quick do it again. And why? Because we're retraining our synapses too, because we've done this for a long time. And all of a sudden, Brent and I are looking at each other going, what do we say? Brent, I just think it's just a new way. Like if you do it so fast, your body has to change, right?
Absolutely. And we did it in a way, Kristal, and you'll see this if you jump on it, is where, if you're talking to a guest, you got to share the product, but then you got to share the side of it, the opportunity. And the way we share it is, listen, here's how you get in. Here's how you get your money back. Here's how you start to step in part-time, spare time, $500, $1,000 a month. Listen, please never leave that place in our industry. Never leave. You think, hey, people want big money. No, they want breathing room money. Think about when you started. Extra $1,000 a month, pay the mortgage payment, or well, this day and time, a half of a mortgage. And then how can I escape my job and step into this six-figure place? And so Kristal shared that with me, and I thought, you know what, we're gonna put that out there for the people. And so 15 minutes, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. That's why invitation business is all about communication. It's just conversation. That's what business is. And so if me and Kristal's talking all day, every day, just between ourselves, we can't grow that way. But if Kristal's out talking to new people, and I'm out talking to new people, and Ken's out talking to new people, and Chris out talking to new people, guess what? The business is going to be positively growing. And that's what we're doing.
Chris, can I say something real quick on
Absolutely.
all this stuff? And Brent was talking about, Anthony says, you got to be excited. You got to be, folks, listen to this quote. Dogs don't chase parked cars. Now, I'm not saying we're dogs. I'm just saying you got to be moving. Folks, you start a fire, people will come to look. There's a video out there I've seen years ago, Rick or Chris and Brent, and Dr. Chris was probably seen it. This guy is in a park and he starts dancing by himself. And everybody's looking at that guy's crazy. Before you know it, the second person's dancing, the third person's dancing. Before you know it, everybody in the park's dancing, right? You got to be active here. And as far as tools, Brent was talking about tools. Folks, know that there's more tools coming for you. Chris talked about a PowerPoint that Todd's produced. We're producing videos. The company's producing some new videos. In fact, they're going to produce some on February 11th in segments that we can use to send out to people. So great promotions coming. As great as it is, as good as it is, it's about to get even gooder. or greater or better or whatever, right? So awesome, awesome time. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Ken. Guys, you got to get off and Anthony, would you pull that back up? So they've got the Zoom numbers for Brent and Dr. Kristal's Zooms. Funny part is I'm not even getting on their Zooms. I've got one-on-ones right after this starting immediately in Zooms. So guys, I've never done that on Saturdays. This will be the first Saturday I started doing Zooms after Zooms. I'm like, this is crazy. This is what Brent does all the time. He's Mr. Zoom. I don't call him Mr. Zoom because he's always talking to people. So guys, thanks for being on this Saturday. That starts right now. So they're going over to get to that. Next Saturday, we'll have I don't know who the special guest is going to be, but we're going to really talk about wording and things to say to get people to listen. And we're going to give you some scripts next Saturday. I'm just going to make that decision right now. We're going to talk about words because Coach Palmer's really good at that. And I hope you'll be with us next week. They're getting off. Guys, have a great day. Thanks for being here. We love all of you. It's just great to be partnered up with all of you. Thanks for being here.
Love you guys. Grateful for you.
Thanks a million.
Go Cowboys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much, guys.
Yes.
Bye.